Am I
And that's why D-Man would kick the crap out of Batman.
No! Gary, you're wrong.
I'm sorry, but D-Man is the second greatest Avenger.
The first greatest, of course, Stingray. I'm out.
Thinnest armor, Stingray or Vindicator?
Why? How did they get armor so thin, microscopically thin, when Tony Stark is the armor genius?
And yet,
in the world.
Yes, and yet, right.
Yeah.
I figured Guardians is the thinnest because it ripped like nobody's business and it blew up and killed him.
That's true.
Tony's never did that.
It was too thin is the moral there.
Thank you. It's Canadian technology. That's what it is.
It is.
For our friend Deanna.
Stick to robot arms on the shuttle, Canada. That's your wheelhouse. Your wheelhouse is robot arms on the shuttle. Don't go past. Know your lane.
That's right.
And that's our panel on thinnest armors in the Marvel Universe, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our latest quarantine panel for the American Sci-Fi Classics Track. If all the other tracks and all the other conventions are not doing online panels, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And if we're the first ones, you're welcome. And,
we may not have thought of it first, but we're certainly doing it best.
And we're saying we thought of it first, even if
it's wrong.
Even if we're incorrect. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Crowe. I am the co-director with the man diagonally to my east. So, and that's Gary Mitchell, my co-director, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. Yes, Star Trek fans, it's my real name. And I really hope that he makes an appearance in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I doubt he will, but, you know.
Surely. To my stage left, and I'm pointing that way. Yeah, well, I think I did it right.
You did it right. You finally learned.
Yeah, this is making his second American Sci-Fi Classics quarantine panel appearance, Mr. Darin Bush. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Joe and Gary. Thank you for having me back a second time. Apparently, technical difficulties could not keep me away again. Thank you for including me on this panel, which is apparently going to be a little tiny bit of a lot of fun.
Those are only up. Look at that. And
even the shirt.
Right below me in my basement, my fellow Alabamian, Mr. Van Allen Plexico. How are you, sir?
Oh, hey. All right. Very good. Glad to be here.
Another, of course, you have seen him in live action on the American Sci-Fi Classics Track, like you've seen Darin and Gary and myself. But today we're coming into your house on your computers. We're trapped in the box.
I wasn't told there would be breaking and entering. Wait a minute.
No, there's no breaking, just entering.
Oh, okay. All right.
And tonight, what we're going to do, Gary, tell them what we're going to do.
All right. So what the title of our panel this evening, and this was my idea, I'm quite proud of it, is what's that?
Gary Rules.
Yes, Gary Rules.
I was trying to compliment you for the first time.
And I refuse to take it. We are doing the alternate in the fine tradition of Marvel's What If comic books, where they take an idea of what could have happened, what could have different away. What if Marvel MCU had happened in the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s? So here are our ground rules. And once I've gone over the ground rules, we'll do a little bit more of an introduction. We are doing it that the MCU happened in order. So Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, we go down the line. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. But it's the 1970s, or it's the 1980s, or it's the 1990s. If a character had been cast and was being played by an actor in that time frame, like Bill Bixby in the 70s, we're stuck. That's the actor. Everybody else is fair game. Now, and this is where it's going to get interesting for me, because the gentleman over here is, well, Van, tell people your pedigree on why we have you here to talk about anything to do with Marvel's The Avengers.
Well, I guess I kind of like them.
Yeah.
I guess it goes back to 1977 when somebody gave me Avengers 162. And I was a humongous Avengers fan, read everything I get my hands on. And in 1995, I founded the very first Avengers website, www.avengersassembled.net. And for 25 years, the Jarvis Heads and I have been doing Avengers type stuff on the internet. And I've edited and created 2 books about the Avengers, Assembled and Assembled 2. And I've written 9 novels. There they are. Joe's involved in them, absolutely. And I've written 9 novels about an Avengers-ish superhero team called the Sentinels. And I'm a huge Iron Man fan. What more? I can go on all night.
So what we'll be calling on you here is, so we hit phase 2, and we get a movie like Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So we still have to do Captain America 2, but The Winter Soldier hadn't been written in the 70s or the 80s.
Right,
so what storyline do they do? Or do at least take the name off of? Because that's what they sort of did with Civil Wars. They took the name and didn't really, or Age of Ultron, they took the name. It's not the story from the comics.
And
so
if
that's going to be a fun bit of this as well.
And if it's the 70s, 80s, and 90s, does this mean we just have Bucky laying in a box somewhere as far as we know?
Right. So we got to get around that. Now, Mr. Bush, above me, your Avengers credentials, or are you just a fan like me?
Well, I'm more of a Batman guy than Superman. No, I'm sorry. It's my Avengers credentials. I have been reading Avengers comic books since I was a kid, not as early as Van, but soon after. And I am just very, very good at making Gary sound like he's wrong about things. I think that's why I'm here.
You don't need any help with that.
Yes, I have been collecting comic books since the very early 80s. Still have my West Coast Avengers comic books.
Ooh,
for what that's worth.
Me too.
Yep, was able to hang on to those.
Nice. Yeah.
So, Gary, you want to go furthest back in time and then mark?
Yeah, let's start with the 70s.
Okay.
Everything should start with the 70s.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to start then with, the big. We're going to assume that certain things happen. We have to assume that Marvel didn't go bankrupt or nearly go bankrupt. That Marvel didn't piecemeal out their rights to certain things.
Sure. Yeah. Presume that all the stuff that's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the current era was available to Marvel in live action in the 70s.
Yeah, somehow Stan managed to get that movie deal he was angling for since 1970.
The one he talked about every month in Stan's soapbox.
Is this the moment where I say that Marvel was bought out by AT&T?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
All right. So Van, we'll start with you since we start with ground zero of the MCU, not counting that there was a weird little vampire movie that was made a few years earlier. And a few movies based on those mutant fools. And we start with Iron Man. So it's 1978. Because 2008.
That's a good year. I just want to point out, by the way, that the folks in the comments are coming up with some great casting ideas.
Ooh.
I love Bruce Boxleitner as Captain America. That is beautiful. Bruce as Cap, man. A young Bruce Boxleitner, blonde with the perfect. George Hamilton as Iron Man. I love it.
Oh, dang. That
is
good.
Was
on my list. That was what I was going to say.
That's good.
Boom. Look at that.
There it is. And we had
once we get to the '90s, then David Hasselhoff will be our
Yes.
new Fury. So
Yeah, sure.
somebody-
Yeah, the Hoff could definitely be somebody before Fury, before we get to the 80s.
Yeah,
or the
somebody-
90s. So yeah.
somebody had Richard Roundtree, I guess, as Nick Fury, because he was Shaft
Ooh.
before.
damn right, he was Shaft.
Yeah, so he before. Oh man, yeah. Someone says give Lola a panel. I'm like, Lola's kicking butt. Good job.
Yeah.
So we're starting in 1978, and you want to know
All right. So
How
the first
would you-
thing is,
Iron Man.
yeah. So who's Tony? Who's Pepper? Who's the Ironmonger? We're gonna assume they stick with that story.
Yeah,
And who's Rhodey? That
Is
gets recast.
Ooh.
Because
is
that's the other
John?
kick is we have to figure out who's going to be first Rhodey because Rhodey is recast.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Too
Deep,
early.
deep
Oh,
dive.
no. Deep cut. Yeah.
We're never going to get
Um,
to the 90s at this rate.
we really
just,
aren't. Yeah,
Just like people who did coke in the 80s. So so let me ask you a question: Is Chevy Chase too arrogant to play Tony Stark in the 70s?
He might be arrogant enough.
Oh
It's-
man, I'm trying to imagine Chevy Chase with the little goatee though.
yeah.
Well, you figure he wouldn't do the goatee. He'd be,
he didn't dress up as Gerald
It was-
Ford.
Oh, he'd have the mustache. He'd just
Yeah.
have a
And it was the
mustache.
president.
That's right, because Tony did have the mustache in the comics. So you have like a Burt Reynolds. Ooh, Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
How about Burt Reynolds as Ironmonger?
Burt. I think Burt could be Tony. With
Okay,
that
so Burt is
personality.
Tony and Chevy is Monger?
And Jerry Reed is Happy Hogan.
Yes, he is.
we're 6 minutes in and Joe won.
Now, look,
And
Tony,
Ronnie Anderson is Pepper.
we're gonna do it.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, Lonnie
Yeah.
Anderson is Pepper. Yeah, that works.
Joe is rolling.
Yeah.
Freshman.
And then
Good night,
Richard
everybody.
Roundtree as Nick at the end.
And Joe.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of stuck on the who do we cast as Rhodey? Rhodey 1. We only get him once.
Oh man, how about Herb Jefferson?
Oh,
Boomer.
yeah. Boomer.
Oh yes.
Boomer
call.
works.
He's a flyboy pilot.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I dig it.
Well, that was
Okay.
easy.
That was easy
It
enough.
was.
So
That was
now the question.
really easy.
So we jump forward from in the same year, 1978, we have the Incredible Hulk.
Bill Bixby.
So, but now we're gonna get Van. You look upset.
What? Oh, I thought somebody mentioned the Hulk, and I just kind of,
Yeah. So we need somebody to be General Thunderbolt Ross. We need a Betty Banner, and we need
We didn't get any of that in the show. I'm still mad.
and we need someone to be the Abomination.
Wait a minute. We're not having Ferrigno.
Well, yeah,
No,
no, it'd be,
Ferrigno's the Hulk.
no.
No, he's
Ferrigno
okay.
is-
he's the
Ferrigno's
Hulk.
Hulk.
All right.
We gotta
I
do
just
the
want for
Abomination.
the record, Ferrigno is Hulk.
All right,
Yes.
Lola's running crazy here. We got Farrah Fawcett over there. We got Jane Fonda's Black Widow. I like it.
That's Iron Man 2. We haven't got there yet.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Gotta hold on.
Calm down, people. We have an hour.
We got to don't get ahead of us.
Seriously, we got like 23 movies to get
3 times.
three times.
We have 37 seconds per movie. Go.
Okay, go.
I am not surprised, Darren, that you did the math. All right, so who is? I guess we should start with who's Thunderbolt Ross. It's got to be somebody. It could be Sam Elliott again.
Yeah.
He was around in the 70s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was.
How about-
He was young, but always looked old. So
Robert Mitchum.
Robert
Ooh,
Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum. Good call.
Yeah.
He's always crusty and mean.
Mhm.
And I bet he would call everybody a milksop.
Yes.
He would.
I was gonna say Ernest Borgnine, but I think Mitchum is better.
Dang,
Oh.
Ernest Borgnine would be great too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can save Borgnine for the 80s.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
He was still
okay,
kicking around.
brilliant.
It was on Airwolf.
And for
And for the Abomination, whose character name I can't remember.
Somebody kind of wimpy and foreign.
Mhm.
Paul
They could out
Rubens?
more. He could ooh.
I kind
We
of
have
like
to save Paul Rubens
I like
for
that.
somewhere, but I like that.
Was he around in the late 70s? When was he?
Yeah,
when did
he was.
start
That's
kicking
when
around?
Pee Wee started as a stage act in Hollywood.
Okay.
So Paul Rubens,
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the abomination. I
right,
love
with a compensation problem.
Yes.
Yeah. And
And who would? And I'm still angry. We haven't got Tim Blake
Betty.
Nelson back as the leader yet. So who's the leader? Oh, Shatner. I bet that's a Deanna suggestion. Deanna, if that's you posting, please authorize them to use your name because I just see Facebook user.
That's all I'm
But by the
saying.
tone of the comment, I can tell it's you.
They said, "Hey, Van," a while ago, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, so hi, but you
Lee
know.
Marvin.
Lee Marvin.
Dadgummit.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, Lee Marvin would be a great
I hope-
Thunderbolt.
I kind of want to save Lee Marvin for Winter
okay.
Soldier to be the Robert Redford role.
Oh, perfect.
I
Yeah.
know
Oh.
who we should say leave Marvin for, but we got
Okay.
a few more movies till we get there. So keep him in your pocket.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so
Lee
Iron Man
Marvin in my
2,
pocket, and he's going.
and that jumps us to 1980 because we started in 78. That takes us to 81 because it was 2011 for Thor.
Ooh, who is
So
Thor?
That's
who's our
always
Thor?
the hardest to cast. You know, it's you need the big.
At the time, you didn't have. We have to use the special effects of the time too, so you didn't have.
Who was the blondest man in 81?
Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
It's a little early for him, though.
Yeah, when did
Yeah, a little
Rocky
early.
come out?
Yeah, he was more 85, 86 with Rocky.
Lola
Yeah.
makes a good point that Lee Majors needs to be someone. I don't know.
We'll
if
get to
he'll-
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors could be Odin.
Bloody good.
Oh,
Holy crap.
Lola, you are certainly getting your work in as the head of the Howard Hessman fan club.
We'll put him in somewhere. We'll have to. Let's see.
William
I
is
want-
Lola
I-
mentioning William Catt? William
Yeah,
Catt
I
is
want
Thor
William
in the late
Catt.
70s?
No.
No.
I want William Catt as Loki.
Yes.
I'm down with that.
Nice.
Down with that.
Gibb.
Oh, the Bee Gees as Thor.
Andy Gibb could be Thor. He's foreign.
He can do the accent.
And the
All
rest of the Bee Gees could be the Warriors 3. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just throw out Schwarzenegger, maybe? Young Schwarzenegger?
Where is Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
81, yeah.
Schwarzenegger in 81 does work because when was
Or-
Commando?
Conan
I
was-
know he'd already done Hercules in New York because that
And
was
Pumping
like
Iron,
80.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to save Schwarzenegger for later. I really do.
He definitely will get some play in the 80s. He
Oh.
could be the 80s.
I had
for
Schwarzenegger
sure.
down for something specific. I want to save him for later.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
Commando's 85. So we got to take him off the table.
Can we bring Wonder Woman over Linda Carter to be Sif?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm down.
please.
In 81, yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we can see Deanna's name now. Hi, Deanna.
There's Deanna. Hey, Deanna.
The cast of ABBA,
ABBA?
they should be the Warriors 3. Well, there's 4 of them.
All right. So are we sticking with Lee Majors as Odin, or are we casting
Yes.
somebody else? Okay, we're sticking with Lee Majors.
Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that takes us then to the other big boy, Captain America: The First Avenger. So we're stuck, unfortunately, with our Cap.
Oh, that's right.
We
don't
are
get
stuck.
Bruce. We don't have the
yeah.
budget for Bruce.
Yeah,
We don't have the budget to afford him.
Joe, what was the name of the guy from the 2 Captain America TV movies from the 70s?
Reb Brown.
Yes,
there
we
we go.
have
Very
Reb
good.
Brown as our Captain
Little-
America.
Little wings.
So the first question then
The giant
is
helmet.
yes, and his motorcycle.
The motorcycle.
So, Pam Grier is Valkyrie.
That's
I like
good.
that. So that does mean then though we need to figure out who's our Red Skull
In 81?
in 81.
Oh God, I kind of want John Colicos, but he's
Dang.
he's
No,
maybe not big and formidable enough. He's got the
Max-
personality, but
What about Max von Sydow?
yeah,
Good
Yeah.
call. Or
Yeah.
or even Christopher Lee.
Oh, Chris Lee.
Well, he's
Yeah.
already a villain in the Captain America 2 TV movie. But
No, that's okay. The second TV movie didn't happen because we got the MCU.
that's right. So never mind. So Christopher Lee is on the table.
All right. So Chris Lee or do we want to keep or Max von Sydow?
So Deanna,
Dan, you're our tiebreaker.
Deanna, you need to get that spreadsheet started real quick.
The Red Skull, I'm going to go with the one that can do Sinister better, and that's Max von Sydow.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with that.
He can do the Sinister better.
Yeah.
All right. And who's Peggy Carter? Linda Carter?
Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay
maybe.
Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner.
Sherman, Lola
Okay.
Sherman both.
I think Lindsay Wagner can do the vulnerability and the innocence a little bit better than Linda Carter can.
And she gets
Former
a TV
American
series.
Sci-Fi Classics guest Lindsay Wagner, who is so nice.
So we're contractually obligated to mention her.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And we're not getting into the MCU TV shows, guys. We don't have time.
We really
Just just rest easy knowing that Lindsay Wagner gets Agent Carter TV series, and we'll move on.
Mhm.
All right, so then that takes us to the capstone of Phase 1, Marvel's The Avengers. We did not cast Coulson. That's one of the first things we have to correct.
Needs to be somebody who just looks like they were born in a suit.
Yeah.
In
Bob
1982. Yes.
Bob
Newhart.
Goodness.
You see, that's why we
Wow.
pay you. That's
Joe-
that suggestion.
Joe wins again. Bob Newhart, absolutely. Just the whole attitude about, no, we broke into your building, Mr. Stark. No problem. Thank you. No big deal.
and
Let
he's
me-
just in the background and he's doing the stammer, trying to get Pepper's attention in Iron Man 1.
Imagine him
Oh,
stuck
Diana
in the
Rigg.
field.
Diana Rigg. How did we overlook Diana Rigg? Who did we say was Black Widow already?
It's got to be Black Widow.
She is.
Diana Rigg. Yeah. Okay.
We didn't say, and if we did, she's fired. It's now Diana Rigg.
That's
Yes.
right. Gotta be.
Oh, and who's our second roadie? We have to recast our roadie.
Who did we
Who
decide the
would-
first one was?
Who was
I forget. Boomer from Battlestar Galactica.
wasn't there a character on the Avengers show called Gambit? I may be mistaken. Like after
I thought Gambit was an X-Man.
yeah, eventually. But there was a dude on the Avengers show with
You mean the British spy show, right?
yeah, with
Oh.
Speed after Mrs. Peel left.
The other
There was.
Avengers.
Yeah.
There was also the actor on Mission Impossible.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that guy. Oh, what's his name? Hold
He might
on.
be-
Okay, it's been 37 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know. If we can't think of his name, we can't call him on the landline phone to get him onto the movie set. So
Wow, I'm looking at the casting. Bob Johnson was the voice on the tape. But no, actually, Peter, I did not realize. Did anyone else realize? Greg Morris. That was the guy. He's our roadie too. But Sam Elliott was actually on a few episodes of the Avengers TV or the Mission Impossible TV series. That's pretty cool,
dang.
you know?
Ooh,
All right.
Deanna.
And
Deanna says Dirk Benedict is Hawkeye. I kind of like it.
that is a
80s. We'll save that for the 80s.
He's got to be 80s more than 70s though. Who
78.
did we pick? We picked somebody. Oh, William Catt. Or no.
He's Loki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
William
William
Catt's
Catt is
Loki. Hold on, I'm scrolling back.
So at some point then, Lou Ferrigno beats the living hell out of William Catt.
Yes.
And they
Oh,
didn't
that is
have
the image.
special effects back then.
Yes.
So that's really Lou Ferrigno grabbing William Catt by the leg and
And beating him up.
Yep. Okay,
Love
Photoshop
it.
trolls,
All
get
right.
on that right now.
Please.
And here is where I was saving Lee Marvin in our pocket. At the post-credit sequence, Lee Marvin as Thanos.
What?
Ooh.
No, I was
I
What?
like it.
I was going to go Schwarzenegger for Thanos.
Ooh.
In the 80s, sure. But we're still in the 70s.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Lauren Green is Thunderbolt Ross. There's his.
London Born Green. Ah!
All right, so Iron Man 3, we don't really have to recast anybody there because the Mandarin's not in that movie, right, Van?
Van's not in this movie.
Man has left the broadcast.
Iron Man 3 did not happen in the 70s,
Yeah.
so we're skipping it.
Sir not appearing in this film.
Thor:
gonna
The
say
Dark
Iron Man
World. We
3
need
didn't
a former Doctor Who actor to show up and look pretty and not really say anything. So Sylvester McCoy as the Dark Elf.
Thor 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He could bring his rabbits and his sled with him.
Nice.
And then that brings us to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So Van,
All
what
right.
storyline
Yeah.
would they have adapted for Captain America 2?
In
Assuming that they
1984.
don't get the wild idea of, hey, let's bring Bucky back here.
Yeah. In what year? What year are we in for this?
1984.
84.
84.
Oh gosh. So it's
Story.
right after I kind of quit paying attention to Marvel for a while.
84.
I mean, I guess you could do the whole. I kind of almost want to do like the Mansion Siege, where it was when the Avengers.
Oh,
Cap was like the
yeah.
versus Zemo and everything.
yeah, the Masters of Evil. What was the name of that
Yeah.
storyline? Yeah,
It was this
it was
Mansion.
just was Siege or something, wasn't it?
That was
Or
mentioned.
under- Yeah. What was that, Darren?
How about Captain America: The Landing at Grenada?
We'll teach those Cubans.
Okay, so so we're gonna go with the Avengers Mansion Assault for Captain. America.
Yeah. So that's Captain
All right.
America 2.
And then that brings us to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
And the
Dirk
most
Benedict.
important question: who gets to get an incredible paycheck to go, I am Groot a few hundred times? I like the idea that someone threw the name out. Roddy McDowell should be Stephen Strange, but
Yeah.
I kind of also want Roddy McDowell to be going, I am Groot.
Yeah. I think Dirk Benedict would be Star Lord in
Oh.
1980.
Oh
in
my
1984.
gosh. You pretty much already
Yeah.
said
Star Lord.
Yeah, that would be typecasting, but it'd be glorious.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's Gamora?
Kate Jackson. I don't. That's the first name that popped in my head. I don't know what.
Is it who is the actress who played Pussy Galore? No, it's too late. The wrong decade.
Yeah.
This is the body paint.
Okay,
Honorable.
Sherman, that Ted Cassidy as Groot is actually better casting.
Yeah.
Cassidy.
Yes. Ted Cassidy.
They would have to put him in a suit actually made out of wood.
Oh, yeah.
The poor bastard would have to.
Yeah, it'd be.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Ted Cassidy. What about Richard Keel? Is something in there?
Sure.
Oh, well, Drax. We got to cast Drax.
Drax.
There it is.
Richard
Drax.
Kiel. Done.
Yep.
All right.
Who did we say
And
for
then
Gamora?
We
say
didn't. Oh,
Oh.
actually, Joe said somebody, and then we glossed
Joe
over
said
it.
Kate Jackson.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
Kathy Ireland.
Oh,
I mean, she'd have to be dubbed,
yeah.
but
And
Kathy
then-
Ireland.
And her sister,
Oh, Nebula
Nebula,
would be.
Pam Grier.
Let's switch that. Let Pam Grier be Gamora,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
and then Nebula could be somebody else from Bo Derek.
Oh,
Wait, when was 10? Was that
that was 78, 79.
okay? So it's still okay.
Let's see. We need.
You wouldn't want to give it to one of Charlie's Angels?
Maybe this is too big for TV. Come on,
Okay. All
this
right.
is the Avengers.
Anybody else from Guardians of the Galaxy that we should cast? Or and who does the voice of Rocket?
Rocket. Yeah.
George Papard.
Jackie Mason.
Jackie Mason.
I'm going to get that arm.
Actually, Mark Hamill is suggested for
Yeah,
Groot by Lola, but Mark Hamill could do a good Rocket.
But
You know,
nobody
he was
knew,
in that Star Wars stuff.
but
He's looking
nobody
for work.
knew back then that Mark Hamill could do voice stuff.
That's
Mm.
true.
Nobody knows for like 15
Yeah.
years.
It's a little early.
He's the Luke guy.
Rocket.
Man. Yeah, you just need somebody with kind of that street smart, snappy
Yeah.
patter.
Since it's the 70s, I really want it to be Paul Lynde. Why?
Or it could be a young Jeff Goldblum. He was around. He'd done 10 Speed and Brown Shoe on TV.
Yeah.
Young
That's
Jeff
right.
Goldblum.
If you had 30 minutes before somebody referenced 10 Speed and Brown Shoe on the Classic Track panel, you win tonight's prize.
Excellent. Early Stephen J. Cannell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, unless we have anyone else from the Guardians.
Mr. T is Rocket.
Yeah.
We,
We go to Avengers: Age of Ultron. So we have to
who's the
cast
voice of
here.
Ultron?
The voice of Jarvis?
Yeah, the voice of Jarvis.
Richard Burton.
Oh.
The war, the Jeff Wayne War of the Worlds, Richard Burton.
Yes.
No one would have
Which
believed.
means he becomes Vision.
Which I'm fine with that.
And we have to cast Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
If we're going to have Richard Burton as the Vision, I kind of want to have Joan Collins as the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, I'm in.
What a couple, right?
And Roddy
She's
McDowell
boring.
gets in. This is where we put Roddy in. Roddy in is his Quicksilver. He does his one movie and he's out.
Oh, nice.
Roddy McDowell in a form-fitting silver costume. Like, he's done it before.
What? You didn't see it coming? And so we picked Ultron, right?
No.
Oh,
Did we
so
do the first
voicing
place?
Ultron. I thought Darin said Ultron. No, he said Jarvis.
To Jarvis.
Um,
Well,
How about
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah, that's
Oh,
either that or Orson Welles.
Oh, Orson Welles.
Orson
Orson
Welles.
Welles is available to us
We
right
saved
now.
James Earl Jones for later. Orson Welles here, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Because, he gets in on this one before Transformers the movie.
Todd Akins. I think
Todd
that.
Akins.
I think that. What's his name? The cowboy, Sam.
Oh,
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott could do a good Ultron. Because you think about the actor that did him in the movie.
Yeah.
He was not straight up. He had that kind of more casual to it. That was what made it kind of
It
work.
wasn't James Spader, was it?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was Ultron.
Okay, yeah, it was just James Spader has that ability to sound like he's artificial and sarcastic at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite lines of the whole movie is just at the end when the Hulk grabs him. He's like, "Oh, come on!" or "For God's sake," whatever the line is. It's just for me, it's just hilarious the way he deadpans that.
Yeah.
Slim Pickens has got to be somewhere.
Oh my God! Please. All right. Oh, I'm trying to. Okay, Slim Pickens as Ultron. We're done. Shut it down. Going home.
And that brings us to
Thought y'all was up to something here, Avengers.
and that brings us to Ant-Man. So
Please.
I want John Ritter.
John
want what?
Ritter.
John Ritter as Ant-Man.
John
Yes.
John
Excellent.
Ritter wins.
He
Excellent.
would be perfect. He has that same vibe in this at that time that Paul Rudd has now.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have Chrissy as his ex-wife.
Sure.
Yeah, stunt
Sure.
casting. It works. And nobody cares who plays Yellow Jacket because the character was pointless. But who plays Hank Pym?
Darren
Kirk
McGavin?
Douglas.
Darren McGavin.
Oh, Darren McGavin's good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like it.
All right, so as that palate cleanser of Phase 2 ends, that brings us into Phase 3. And again, Van, we're counting on you. We're talking 86 here.
Ooh.
Captain America Civil War. So Civil War did not happen in the Marvel Comics yet at this point. What storyline could that would have pitted Tony against Cap and forced everybody to... Because the whole point of Civil War was they had to break up the team.
Break up the team. Yeah, that's tough because that was a time when the team was kind of really, I think that was like getting close to the time that like Operation Galactic Storm and Force Works and all that happened maybe a little bit later. So it's largely Iron Man and Cap disagreeing over like, do you intervene in things or do you kind of wait for things to happen?
Which is also kind of what Civil War is about. Sokovia
Yeah,
War is whether or not
right.
they... Okay, so Captain America 3 Galactic Storm?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I like it because they
All right.
fall out over how you fight the war. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the main person we have to cast, two main people we have to cast in this are Black Panther
Ooh.
Okay.
because that's where he appears.
And
We've already used Richard Roundtree.
Yeah, we already
So
did.
what year we're in 86 now? Okay, so
What about Marlon Wayans?
A little early, I think.
What year was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Keenan Ivory
87?
was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. That was the older brother.
88. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker was 88.
I feel like I'm just totally dropping the ball on thinking of really good black actors from that period. I don't know why I can't just,
Rob
Lola Strickland wants Mr. T as Black Panther. Look, he's already Rocket Raccoon.
Okay, it's Sean. Wait, is it Sean or is it Dwayne? It's the older Wayans brother. It's the oldest Wayans brother. Is the one.
Mario Van Peebles.
Mario Van Peebles.
Not bad. Not bad.
Better, yeah. Yeah. Well,
And the guy who played Blackula could be his dad.
Sherman just said Michael Ansara as Dr. Doom. I just want to go on record. Well, A, we don't have a Dr. Doom yet. But I want to say Michael Ansara can play anybody in anything I produce.
Yes.
He is awesome. He's the best
We have
villain.
a standing order on the landline phone, a call ready to go. We got Michael Ansara right there on a little sticky piece of paper on the landline phone to call Michael Ansara when Dr. Doom is available.
Denzel Washington for when we hit the 80s or 90s.
Oh, sure.
We're in the mid-'80s right now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little early for Denzel, but he'll come back.
He would have been a good Panther.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney
father.
Poitier. Oh,
in the mid 80s.
Father, yeah.
It's the dad, yeah.
Yeah, it's the dad.
Yeah.
Deanna is adamant about Denzel. We'll get to him.
He's like
also,
a teenager in the 80s.
As the MCU heads, Joe is Kevin Feige. I am Joss Whedon. Van is
Avi Arad?
Yes, exactly. And Darin's our production assistant.
Wait. That makes me Favreau?
Yes.
Hey, take it and run, man. That's pretty good.
I can be happy.
All right. Did we cast a Bucky? Did we decide? Are they bringing Bucky back, or did we?
We haven't.
So we have to figure out
who
is the person that they're trying to blow up. So Van, if you don't have Bucky Barnes, but you need someone Captain cares about, that Captain America cares about, that they set up as the patsy.
Oh, it's
Is it Dum Dum Dugan? Is it got to be? Yeah, Falcon is the obvious choice.
Bernie, the New York. They framed Bernie, the New York artist that he dated back. Ladies and gentlemen, the obscure Captain America comic reference. Rick Jones would have been.
Rick Jones is a good choice too.
Live action yet?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had the Hulk, so this would be an interesting place to bring him up, especially if we do it with Operation Galactic Storm, because he was a key point of that too, wasn't he?
How have we not had a Rick Jones in the MCU yet? That blows my mind. They've managed to avoid him. They just dodged him every step of the way.
Rick Jones has one of my favorite moments in comic book history ever, written by Peter David in the Hulk comic book, where the Hulk's fighting some people on an alien spaceship, and Rick Jones is on there. The Hulk gets thrown out. The spaceship blows up, and Rick Jones was on it when it looked like it was on it when it was blow up. Hulk is standing there looking at it. He's distraught that Rick has died. Another friend of the Hulk's is standing there, and they're both going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" Rick walks up behind them. He goes, "What are we looking at?" And they're like, "Rick, how did you survive? You were on the ship." He's like, "Oh, I had a parachute under my jacket. I always wear a parachute under my jacket in cases like this." They're like, "That's stupid." He's like, "Have you seen my life? It happened. I needed it."
That's Peter David too. Facebook user number 2 there. He should have been in Captain Marvel somehow. I totally agree. They should have found some way
to stick him in the yeah.
All right, so Captain America, Civil War. That takes us then to Doctor Strange. So do we go back to Roddy, or do we pick some other weirdo-looking fella from England?
Tom Selleck.
What about Henning?
He's the only one with the stash.
That's right. I want Tom Selleck.
Actually, no.
Sorry.
No,
We're
Doug
stuck.
Henning.
This is
Doug
70s.
Henning.
We're stuck.
Doug
He played Doctor
Henning.
Strange.
Darren says Doug Henning.
No, we're stuck because there was a Doctor Strange movie in the 70s. We're stuck with
Oh,
that guy.
Oh, that's right.
We got that guy.
Darn.
We got
Yeah.
the guy that should have been playing in Boston.
Yeah.
Peter
Well,
Van
I know who
Houten.
should. I know who should play the ancient one. Max Headroom.
Okay.
Max Headroom.
Oh. That Frewer, yes.
Yeah, the guy who played Doctor Strange was in Mexican soap operas and didn't do anything in English speaking after the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. Peter Hooten, by the way.
Yeah.
Peter Hooten.
Hooten.
All right. So who plays
that one.
the bad guy since we don't have Mads Mikkelsen? It's got to be someone European and weird looking.
Deanna says Doug Henning is Canadian, and he already is a magician.
So
I
Doug
feel like-
Henning is Mads Mikkelsen's character, whose name is forgettable because we don't care. But who was Baron Mordo? Because we know he's coming back.
Ah.
And again, another African American actor we need. Now here, maybe we could go with James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
He could be
The
on
James
screen
Earl
for
Jones
one.
that was in Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Amos. He was in Beastmaster. Was that
John Amos is good. He's
Yes.
good in anything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
okay?
James.
All right. So after Doctor Strange, that takes us to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So we have to cast someone to be Ego
Kurt
Well,
Russell.
we could use Kurt Russell.
again,
He's already there.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
or have we used Hasselhoff yet?
He's a good Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
David Hasselhoff as Ego.
I say that's
And when he
Okay.
shapeshifts to be the cool dad that Star-Lord City always had, he shapeshifts to Lloyd Bridges from Sea Hunt.
what done. Shut it down.
What? Why can't he drive up to pick up his young son Star-Lord in Kit?
Yeah.
Come on. This is the best. Yeah. Instead of
Anybody new in that movie? I guess just Tim, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Mantis,
Mantis.
And Mantis. We have to cast Mantis.
Young Michelle Yeoh.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Done. They got to use her. There's so many people. Michelle Yeoh's got to get into a Marvel movie at some point.
Absolutely.
She was so good in Discovery, man.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally get our Spider-Man, who is the wonderful gentleman from The Sound of Music.
Nick
Woo.
Hammond.
Yep. Nick Hammond gets his solo Spider-Man movie finally.
Mm-hmm.
And after this, we don't have to do after this batch. There are no more Marvel things for
Yeah,
like
really,
25
because
years.
after
So we are
this-
free and clear after that.
Yeah, because after this we hit Thor Ragnarok, which we have to cast Hela.
From '87.
Mm-hmm.
Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, Sigourney
dang!
Weaver would be perfect.
I like it.
Good.
I wanted to say Brigitte Nielsen, but
Not
Ooh.
bad. Not bad.
Black Panther, we need a warmonger.
the Killmonger.
Killmonger, thank you. Yes.
Killmonger.
I'm glad that they just gave him a real.
Ironmonger, Killmonger.
I'm glad he was-
There's a lot of mongering in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, that's true.
haven't had the hate monger yet, man. Where's the hate monger?
Where's the hate monger? I think the freaking hate monger is in real life, unfortunately.
Okay.
Right, so
You guys are gonna.
Olivia Newton-John.
Aaron?
You guys are gonna kill me. But what year was Space Jam?
No. For the 80s, maybe.
Michael Jordan as
Actually, I like the idea.
Oh, okay? I get it. It took me a minute. Sorry, Darin. It took me a minute, but I got it.
Fred
Okay.
Williamson as Killmonger.
Fred the Hammer Williamson.
Yep.
It's got to be a blaxploitation star.
I
It
like
really
it.
does. It really does. Yeah.
I like it.
And it's
I
a
like-
strong role. He'd eat that up.
And the guy who played Dolomite could be Black Panther's father.
Rudy Ray Moore, right?
Rudy Ray Moore. He could be. Oh, he could be M'Baku. That's Dolomite. He's already got the costume.
And that takes us then to. Oh, and did we cast Martin Freeman's Shield agent?
We also needed the Grandmaster from Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok.
Jeff Goldblum's part should be played by.
It's got to be someone odd.
Yeah.
Why not just leave it as Jeff Goldblum?
I was gonna say
He was playing himself back then, anyway. Yeah.
Ooh.
Deanna's.
No,
I
not
actually like Deanna's choice better for Killmonger. LeVar Burton.
Really?
You'd be good.
He'd be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
You disagree, Darin? Please speak up.
What's Michael
Do you
Jordan?
think he's too nice?
37 seconds. 37 seconds.
Okay.
Well, he was just a kid though back in around this time period. LeVar
Exactly. Yeah.
Burton. Well, yeah.
Okay. So that then, unless there's anybody else we need, from
Elton
Black
John.
Panther. Oh, we need.
Is
Did we do M'Baku? Okay.
Elton
Fred
John.
Williamson is M'Baku.
Elton John.
Fred Williams is
yes.
yeah.
And Elton John.
Elton John.
is-
Yes, I want
Elton
Elton
John is the
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster. I'm in.
He already
I'm in
has all
on
the
that.
costumes.
Yeah.
with a big
Yeah.
cosmic piano sitting there, and he just bursts
Yeah.
into song in the middle of the scene and just
Yeah.
bangs out a song while he's ranting and raving. I love it.
He's a gamma wizard.
He's got Roger Daltrey in the back singing him a song
Yeah.
in the background. Such a supple wrist. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Did we get through the 70s?
Yes, we're just about through because I don't think we have to do anybody new for Infinity War except for there's Thanos's buddies, which they don't really matter.
I
Yeah,
feel like
Just cast the guys from Rush as the other guys
Done.
standing behind Thanos.
There you go.
Done.
Just
I like it.
Ant-Man
Yep.
and the Wasp. We have to cast the Wasp.
Wasp, yeah.
We have to cast the Wasp and Michelle Pfeiffer's character.
2018. So that's what we're 98 now.
88.
88.
88.
That's right.
the
Whew.
Wasp from 88.
I want a young Michelle Pfeiffer as the Wasp.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
Wasp.
we need somebody as the collector.
Yeah.
Lola reminds us we need somebody as the collector to stand around and be Udo Kier.
He was Udo Kier from. Was he young?
Udo Kier is, he was young enough.
How old was he at that? Okay, sure.
Deanna reminding us that Rush is, in fact, Canadian.
They're the Canadian ambassadors of music for like
Because
75 years.
Because I didn't realize that.
They're Rush.
We're getting a lot of comments for Michelle Pfeiffer as the Wasp. And
Yeah.
so who plays her mom, though? The Wasp that was vanished.
How about Linda Evans?
Linda Evans?
Evans. I like it.
Yeah.
Dire Straits is the okay, then
Money for
now
nothing.
here's
We
the
gotta
next.
move these hydrogen bombs.
All right, and again, Van, here is where we need you.
All right.
Captain Marvel. Now, Carol Danvers, was she in the comics at this point?
Yeah.
89.
80.
She
89.
89. She was probably either binary or about to become binary. She'd lost.
Yeah, but she was never Captain America. She wasn't Captain Marvel at this point, though. She
was
never
already-
taken the mantle.
Well,
So-
she would
So the
not
question
be
is-
at all. She's still going to be Ms. in this movie.
Yeah, she'd be Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question is, for Captain Marvel, do we do what a lot of people screamed about on the internet and go with the original Marvel and tweak the storyline, or do we jump ahead and say, yeah, we're making it, instead of making Captain Marvel, this movie is Ms. Marvel?
Look,
I think you got to do Ms. Marvel because Marvel had been dead since 82.
Okay.
yeah.
He'd been dead
So-
a long time at this point.
So the only change we're really
Marvel.
making is the name of the movie. Instead of Captain
Yeah.
Marvel, it's Ms.
Ms.
Marvel.
Ms. Marvel. Everything else.
Marky Post. I actually like that idea.
Marky Post.
Sherman, you're on a roll tonight.
Crushing it.
Heather Locklear
Oh, Heather
Heather
Locklear.
Locklear.
or Heather Thomas, honestly.
Really?
Ooh. And who plays who in the comics becomes Photon, her friend?
Oh,
Is that where we bring in Pam Grier?
She's a little older.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
And Carrie Fisher as
We gotta bring Carrie Fisher. Could be
the
Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah, Supreme Intelligence.
I like it. Carrie Fisher's great.
All right. And then that brings us to Endgame, which I don't think there's anybody new added there. We just bring everybody back.
Everybody back.
It'll be just like an episode of The Love Boat.
Oh, we didn't do Jan Rog.
Oh,
the evil guy from Captain Marvel.
Yeah. And Jude Law's role.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a 90s Jude Law? Pretty
Law?
boy, can be cruel.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either Charlie Sheen or Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Bacon. I like Kevin Bacon better for that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Kevin Bacon. Dang, man. That's strong.
All right, so we've been going for about an hour, and we've only done the 70s.
Thank you.
So that leads me to believe that either we need to speed run or we save round 2 for next session, and then we have to do this again. So the question, I guess, for Darin and Van is, would you be up for doing this as a second panel?
Yeah,
and our Facebook users, we need to see if you guys would like to see us do a 80s version of this.
Yeah, they've been screaming people from the 80s and 90s since the first minute.
Minute one.
I think they voted before you asked.
Right. So yeah, we're doing this again.
All right. So to cap this off, then, so just I want to start with Darin, then we'll go to Joe, then Van. Do you think the MCU, if it had happened in the 70s, with the cast we picked or otherwise, do you think it would have been as huge an impact? Because the MCU has changed filmmaking. Everybody's building a universe now. Everybody's building these interconnected storylines. We're starting in 88 next time, as opposed to 78. That's why we were technically calling this the 70s. So, Darin, what do you think the impact, and what would Stan's cameos have been?
I think,
and would they have given Kirby a cameo?
Oh yeah, they'd have to.
See, I think they would have to, but Kirby was probably mad by this time.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, Van, was Kirby angry at Stan Lee in the 70s and 80s?
From day one, from the very first day,
they have to do cameos for Stan and Jack, but not together.
No.
From the day in like the 40s when Jack said, "Hey kid, I'm drawing this figure here. Could you get me a cup of coffee?" And the coffee was cold. From then forward, it was just not
mortal enemies.
Not good.
This is the part where we go different panel.
Yeah,
clear the set. We've got Jack. We got to do Jack Kirby's cameo. Get Stan Lee out of here.
So, Darin, what's your thoughts on MCU if it had happened in the 70s?
I had such a great serious answer, and Van just deleted it from my brain. No, I think the serious answer is it would not have been nearly as good. It would not have been, and I'm not talking about CGI. I'm not talking about production money or Disney or any of that stuff. I just don't think it would have been as good. I think that one of the reasons why the MCU is so incredibly overwhelmingly amazing is because of the relatively young filmmakers that got their hands on it, that were allowed to get their hands on it. Mm-hmm. I think that we were joking earlier about which of the four of us was which, and I think Van said he was Avi, and I ended up being Favreau. Yeah, Favreau, Joss Whedon, and just this long list of people that I'm sure Van has met every one of these people and shaken their hands. They are the reason why the MCU is so amazing. Now, could Lucas as executive producer and Spielberg as director and Ron Howard, the younger Ron Howard director, could Rob Reiner's directing, like The Princess Bride, Rob Reiner, could these guys have done?
That's a factor we didn't really even bring into this. Is who was directing? Joss Whedon, Taika Waititi.
Yes,
I mean, the behind the scenes stuff.
I would love to see Princess Bride Rob Reiner do an MCU movie. Would love
Francis
to see
Ford Coppola's The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, oh, God.
Oh man,
Oh,
Lord,
yikes. Yeah. So again, Gary ruins my point, but no,
the whole thing just
that is
stands out in front of
that's
me.
correct. Is
I'm watching
Whedon
that
and
movie
Favreau.
now, guys. Thanks.
So yeah, the short answer is no. No, is the people who made MCU great they really had their stuff together. They were okay. So speaking of Lucas and Spielberg, one of the reasons why Indiana Jones and Star Wars are so amazing is because they were trying to relive their childhood. Whedon and Favreau and these other guys are reliving their childhoods through comic books. They were the people we needed to make these comic book movies.
Right. And at the time, the people making movies outside in the 70s, the people making movies then, besides Rob Reiner and Spielberg and Lucas, were crusty old dudes who didn't give two craps about
Oh man, could you imagine Scorsese's Black Panther?
See?
I'm serious. Martin Scorsese, and Lola mentions Roman Polanski, which makes me want him to do Ant-Man. You know why?
John Milius.
Yeah.
John.
Oh my God. My mind is broken.
I mean, I
want Hal Needham one. Hal Needham has got to do one of these,
Why
man.
has Hal Needham not been?
Hal Needham has to do Ragnarok.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So many spaceships crashing into each other.
Boom!
Woo, woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo.
And they would actually build the ships and actually make them fly, and then crash them together.
Yeah.
That would happen.
Well, I mean, Ray Harryhausen's Groot would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Or Sam Peckinpah's The Age of Ultron.
Oh. Oh.
Good Lord.
Who would, if we're going further back, who would John Wayne have played in the MCU?
Oh, he'd have been great Ego.
Yeah.
But would he play Ego? That is a bad guy who dies at the end.
Maybe he's the Hasselhoff cameo.
If he's a younger John Wayne, he could Cap, but
No, John. Oh
Wayne.
God, John Wayne is Odin.
yeah, I could see that kind of.
But then his son
Look here, Loki.
would have to be Thor.
No, he's one of
Not
the
let
Warriors
anybody
3.
else do
He's
it.
one of the. His son's one of the Warriors 3.
That's right, because in the Sons of Katie Elder, Patrick Wayne was not the star. He was just somebody over here on the yes.
Well, I need John. If John Wayne is Odin, I need Lee Majors as Thor.
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors is Thor.
I'm down.
And Mike Dunbar as Loki.
Running in slow motion with the hammer.
So, our commenters who are commenting away, any characters that we didn't cast that you want to yell at us before we wrap this up? Oh, and actually, while y'all are commenting, Van, what's your opinion on MCU in the 70s and how would have?
Oh, well, I think you guys got it. I think it's like you say. It's basically that up until very, very recently, the people with money and power in Hollywood were completely separate from the people with vision and ideas and understanding, and those just never met. And I mean, I've read so many stories of like, we presented this Marvel character or this idea to the studio and quote, they just didn't understand it, unquote. Mm-hmm. So it's not, the technology goes a long way, definitely. The actors and everything else, the money, because movies make so much money nowadays that it really kind of helps to make. But I think what it really comes down to is studios that 30 years ago would have said, we don't understand that, we're never going to do it. And now they either say, we totally understand that, do it, or we still don't understand it, but it'll make $1 billion, so go make it anyway. Yeah. We'll just stay over here and be quiet.
Yeah. The only way I could really see it happening the way it's happened in the real world is the fact that the 70s was when New Hollywood was happening, when the studio system had broken down. We had movies like Easy Rider. We had the Godfather. We had some real young, hungry new directions, which jokingly earlier I said Scorsese. Mm-hmm. But I could see a young Scorsese being given something political like Black Panther and going, and doing a take on it. So it would have to be a batch of those young guys, because we know they hung out. We know, Lucas and Spielberg hung out. There was this whole "we're gonna buck the system" kind of thing.
And
John Frankenheimer does Winter Soldier.
Oh,
yeah. And I was going to give Civil War to Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know why I'm referring to that, it's called Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would love to see what Spielberg could do visually with some of this stuff.
Yeah, Spielberg.
When he was hungry.
Yeah.
When he was hungry.
Yes. We give Spielberg. We give Spielberg the Avengers. We make him the Joss Whedon.
He's the Joss Whedon. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
And we give Lucas, as much as I hate to say it because it's typecasting, we give Lucas either Guardians of the Galaxy, or we give him, I don't know, the Thor movies,
Or Iron Man.
or Iron Man. Yeah,
I feel like
Lucas is Iron Man. Yeah, Lucas. We start with Lucas as opposed to Favreau. We put Lucas in the Favreau role.
Yeah, I like Gary. I like your first instinct to give him the mythology based stuff.
Exactly.
He could bring his mythology chops to Thor. Having him have people design spaceships is that's not the best thing he did.
No,
the mythology stuff was much better.
Yeah, and if we figure, because if we figure we start in 78, then Lucas is going in one of two directions. He's either going in Star Wars or he goes in this direction. In this alternate reality we've built, we don't get Star Wars. We get MCU.
You get MCU.
Yeah. Because in the current reality, Star Wars is an established thing that's over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvel is, yeah. So how about Marvel is that?
Yeah, Marvel is Star Wars in this universe.
Sure.
And people are arguing about it on the internet.
And Lawrence Kasdan gives Star-Lord the best one-liners, which is what happened anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, Lawrence Kasdan directs Guardians of the Galaxy,
and writes it, and writes the dialogue for Star-Lord. Who was it? Who was it that Chris Pratt apologized to for stealing his lines? Was it Harrison Ford?
I think so.
I think Chris Pratt basically
Louis
apologized to
Gossett
Harrison
Jr.
Ford.
Hold on to him. We need him in roles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Louis
Gossett
Gossett
Jr. is still acting today. We can use him like 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah.
But gosh, this kind of took on a life of its own, and thank you guys for attending. Thank you guys for being here.
It's so much fun.
So, what if round 1, the MCU in the 1970s? I think we can put that in the books.
Yeah. And
coming soon, in roughly a few weeks, we will do MCU What If in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Where we will hear Van Allen and Plexico say,
"What?"
Exactly.
Avengers is full.
So, Joe, you want to wrap this up?
I can do that. If you want to see more silliness, go to our YouTube page, which will link through the site that you're on right now on the Facebook. If you are on our Facebook group, you found us. We're here at facebook.com/groups/American Sci-Fi Classics. We are going to do stuff on our little Facebook page and on YouTube, whether we have a Dragon Con or not.
Right.
And we're going to do it the whole dadgum time. So you can find us there. You can find us on the Twitters, on the Instagrams at Classic Track. And you can find me right there at Yojo Crowe on things. And if you want to go to the Amazon and spend money, which why wouldn't you? You should buy these 2 books.
Yes.
Mr. Van Plexico edited, and I have stories, little Avengers history things in both.
Yes.
And
Darin, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah.
So if you go to facebook.com/Darin M. Bush, you'll find me on there. There's occasional stuff going on there, but mostly if you go to amazon.com and search for Darin M. Bush, right, Darin M. Bush, almost right there, you'll find my author's page. And
Sweet.
also, as Gary keeps reminding me to remind you, I'm also assuming we eventually have in-person conventions again at some point. I will be someday. We'll have Monsterama in October, Conjuration in November, and a bunch of other conventions in 2021, which I'm definitely planning on going to.
All right. Van, where can people find you?
Well, on the Twitter at Van Allen Plexico, and www.plexico.net, Plexico.net,
where they can find your fine podcasts, which Joe and I have been on.
Podcast,
the White Rocket, Pimp.
Yes, the White Rocket podcast, the Avengers Assemble podcast, AvengersAssemble.net. By the way, you can go to www.avengersassemble.net and find a bunch of stuff there too. So there's all kinds, but Plexico.net has links to all those things. So that's why I say that one. It's sort of central.
And as everybody can find me, right?
Just forget it.
There, I give up. It's in the corner. Yeah, thank you, Van. Thank you very much. On the Twitter, you can find me at revolutionsf.com/Squid Ink, where I write my weekly slipped discs column, where I tell you what new nerdy media is coming out every week. This week, Jaws 45th anniversary came out in Steelbook, and you will it's in my collection. And
God,
here.
Thank you very much for the last 1 hour and almost 7 minutes. We hopefully have given you something to do instead of dealing with all that stuff.
And come back next week where we're Sci-Fi Classic Court returns. Gavel time.
That's right. We're doing it again.
Yes.
Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us. We're going to keep doing this until morale improves.
So we're never stopping.
No,
never.
We
will continue until morale improves or I get funny.
And a shout out to Sherman and Lola for all the great comments in the chat.
Oh my gosh!
And Deanna, and the fine nation of Canada.
Yes, and to Canada.
The entire I apologize in advance for everything I said.
Canada is Canadian.
That is correct.
We're gonna end on that note.
Canada is Canadian.
Good
you should make that like your poll.
I wanted you to know that.
Thank you guys very, very much.
Thanks so much. That was awesome.
Tip your waitresses.
Tip your cow.
What?